Hello and welcome buddies. Continuing with the directory management command, today we are diving into the final part of this section. But before we begin, here is a quick recap. In part 1 to part 3, I have covered everything in detail. If you missed any, make sure to check out the link in the description. In today's video, we will focus entirely on the directory attribute management command. So let's dive in and explore. Now let's first understand what directory attribute are. So directory attribute are metadata that define the folder's property. Let us break down this complicated line. So look at this UI wizard of a directory properties. Here you will notice it has two key sections. First, journal detail, which hold the properties like folder name, size, location, etc. In second, attribute detail, which is specifying the properties such as read only, hidden, system file, etc. In simple language, it is telling to our operating system that how it should be handled. For example, if you are setting your folder as a read only, then the operating system will not allow to change or write operation. In case if you are hiding, then it will not going to show in UI interface. For crystal clarity, now let us open the folder and explore how these attributes can be viewed and modified using the GUI. So here I have opened my ML project and I am checking the properties of folder 1. So right click on this one and navigate to properties. So here you can see that it is holding the journal detail and attribute. Here attributes such as read only, hidden, and in case I am going to advance, it is further showing some option like compress content, encryption, etc. There is a list of attributes which we are going to see. Now look at this table where I have summarized all the common attributes a directory can have, such as hidden to make directory invisible from normal view, read only, system and archive. For now you can take a screenshot and don't worry, we will explore each attribute in detail shortly. Now let's move on to managing directory attribute. We will break this into two parts. First, viewing attribute, where we are going to see commands to check what all attributes are present in any folder or directory. In second, setting attribute, the command to modify or assign new attribute to any directory or folder. So let's start with the first part, that is viewing the currently set attribute. So to view or display the directory attribute, we have attrib command. It can be used in two cases. In first case, when we are using attrib without switches, it will list out all the files attribute present in the current directory, but it won't display the subfolder attribute. So in case if you want to list out the files attribute present in any subfolder, then you have to use attrib command along with switches like /s and /d. So without scratching our head further, let us directly jump to the CMD window and see it practically. So I have opened my CMD window. Now let us navigate to the desired folder. In my case, it is in ML project. So for that I am writing cd OneDrive /desktop /folder name, here ML project, and hit enter. So I have navigated to my desired folder. In case if you guys have not seen how to do navigation in directory, I am giving link in the I button. You can check out those videos. Now let us back to the topic. Now first of all, I just want to show how the ML project directory is there. So I just want to structure this directory. So for that I am writing tree/f and hit enter. So you can see my ML project is having one file, file 1 and file 2. Here you can also see one subfolder, this one, and inside this we have one file, file 3, and inside this we have another folder named folder 2. Inside this folder we are having one file, folder file 4, and subfolder secret subfolder. So this is the directory structure of our current ML project. Now let us see how the attrib command works. So as we know, when we are using attrib command without any switch, it will display only the files attribute present in the current directory. So here our current directory is ML project, and in this case the files which are present is file1 and file2. So it is showing two attribute for file1 and file2, like these file, whether these are archive, are hidden, or read only, or system file. So let us type and see what it is telling. Hit enter. So it is saying the file1 is archive and file2 is also archive type. Now let us change its property from GUI and make it as hidden and read only for file1. Now refresh it. Now it got something blur, it means hidden. Now let us type again our attrib and hit enter. So in this case, for file1, three attributes are present. It is archive, H for hidden, and R for read only. So you got how the attrib command work, but it is not showing the any attribute for subfolder. So if you want to see the files attribute present inside the subfolder, then you have to use attrib command along with the switch. And in this case, attrib/s means it is going to include the files which are present inside the subfolder. Let us hit enter and see. So now you can see it has also included file3 and file4, which are present inside the folder 1 and inside folder 2. But one thing you are noticing that it is still not showing the attribute for any subfolder. If you want to also show the attribute for the subfolder, then you have to use attrib/s, and to include the subfolders attribute you have to write /d. And remember, here when you are combining two switches you have to give one space, then only it will work, else it will throw error. So let us hit enter and see. Now you can see along with the all files it is also showing the folders attribute. So hope you have got how the attrib command work along with its switches. Now let us jump to the second part, how to set the attribute for any files or folder. So to set or modify the attribute for any directory, we have general syntax attrib plus attribute minus attribute and then switches. For example, if you want to make it read file, then you have to write attrib plus R, and that will set the attribute for the current directory. Now let's consider another example where the attribute is already set but you want to remove. For example, for any directory, initially we have set hidden attribute, but now we want to remove. So in this case, we have to write attrib minus H and hit enter, and that will remove the hidden attribute from the current directory. And guys, in case if you want to apply these changes to subfolder, then you have to use the switches like we did while we were displaying the attribute. So now without wasting time, let us jump to the CMD window and implement this whole concept. So guys, this is my current directory structure and the current attribute which are present in this current directory. Now let us suppose I want to set these into read only. For that I have to write attrib plus R and hit enter. So it got changed if any error is not showing here. Let us check attrib and hit enter. So you can see it got new attribute R means read only. Now let us suppose I want to modify further it to hidden. So for that I have to write attrib plus H and hit enter. It got executed. Let us check. Hit enter. So now you can see it is a hidden and read only file. Now let's say you want to reverse it to original attribute. So for that you have to use attrib minus h, then minus r. Hit enter and it got executed. Now let us check again. Attrib, hit enter. So this is how the attrib setting work, and here is a list of common attribute which you can set. So take a screenshot and try by yourself. But here one thing you have noted, that the modification which we are doing, it is only applying the current directory, not its subfolder. And in case if you want to apply to subfolder, you have to use flag or switches. So suppose I want to make it read only, but it also apply to subfolder. So for that I have to write attrib plus R, and since I am applying to all subdirectory or subfolder, I have to write slash s and hit enter. Now it got executed. Let us check and see. And in this case, if you want to check, you have to mention attrib slash s and hit enter. So you can see all got read only file attribute. So hope this whole concept about setting attribute and viewing attribute, you have got a clear cut understanding. So with this we have completed all 4 parts related to directory management command. From next video we are going to see file handling related command. Thank you for watching, and please do subscribe and like if you are getting benefited from such contents.